Welcome to another edition of the Barbers Arms hairstyling tutorials. Today we're in Salon 19 in Seaford. Today we have Jack as well. He has a disconnected undercut, but it's a lot softer than what we've previously done, where the sides are a little bit longer, so it just gives a softer texture, but the top's a lot longer as well. With that, obviously it creates a lot of weight, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and reduce that to be able to get that more lift at the front. But what I'm going to teach you is when your hair splits, I'm just going to teach you how to hide that and to control it so it doesn't split throughout the day as easily as it would. So what we're going to do is, it's a 3, it's a 3 up to midway, and then a 2 around the bottom edge. Just scissor cut up into this texture up here, just to break that up. So like I said, fairly soft, and then tapered around the back, and then about 1/4 inch off the top, not a lot, chopped into, just to refresh that. And yeah, so we'll get started with that and we'll get back to you. While we're cutting Jack's hair, first thing to remember as well is that just to keep it neat, what we're doing is we're wetting the hair down and then we're putting the line work in and separating it. So when we're going up with the clippers, we're not getting any length into the clippers and cutting that shorter. But also it shows the map of the haircut, yeah? So this is obviously the back area, and then this is the sides, and just to make sure that when you cut this area, you're rounding it off to join it in, yeah? So that will be taken off, and then bringing it down, yeah? That will be taken off, just to join the sides into the back to create that rounded shape on that corner, but generally keeping the back and side square. Right, so now we've come to cutting the top of the hair. What we're going to do is, just as Jack's asked, if we can create more of a rounded shape at the back and lip the back slightly so it's still undercut throughout the back rather than blended in. Let me just show you how it looks at the moment. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to pick this up. Because it's longer, you have to separate the hair so you're not picking it all up, and also it just keeps it clean. If you look from the side, yeah, so you see how that's the length, you know, that's where it's longer for there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to angle it slightly to the longest point, like that, and I'm just going to and then I'm going to work my way along side to side doing that, bringing the hair to the middle. So the further to the side you go, the less hair you actually have to cut. Like nothing. Yeah. and then I'll do it on this side. Using the smaller teeth of your comb as well, just to keep that tight through there. So when we're drying that, we'll get some lift on it as well, and there should be a bit of a weight line through the back. So now that I've cut the top, I haven't finished cutting the top. What I wanted to do was show you. So what I've been doing is I've been obviously separating it sideways and bringing it up, and then as I've been bringing it along, been trimming the top like that, and then the sides, you can see it's shorter there and longer there. Usually when you've got an undercut, the sides get brought up to the same length and it goes from the middle across, so it's flat. But with that, it creates a lot of weight because the length on the sides is too long. If I'd done that, that would be down to about there. So what I'm doing now is going along, and same as the top, just separate the fringe. You don't want to take any length off that, just because take it to that point. You just go along like that, and you just scissor cut into those bits, bringing it into the angle of the back so it's longer at the front, getting shorter towards the back to join up. And you do that all the way around. So when that comes up, it's lighter, so this bit doesn't, it's not too heavy. Same on this side. Also, just making sure as well that when you're doing it, you're making sure that they're the same length, because obviously you don't want one cut up to here and then the other one below the ear. It'll just look silly. You can always check that in the mirror. Just hold it against your ear, but don't trust that just because your ears are always at different heights. One ear will be lower than the other. I'm sorry, but you're not perfect. Fat muck. It's a volumizing spray, gives lots of texture. I've used it in previous videos. It gives a dry texture, so it's not going to look greasy once you dry it in. But it just thickens the hell out of it. So put that through, just with your comb, just make sure it's going all the way through the hair. You don't need to use too much. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start from the back, separating the hair again. This style takes a little bit longer to dry. I mean, Jack, how long does it take you in the morning to dry? 20 minutes, yeah, okay. And that's generally sort of side to side and getting as much height in it as possible. We're going to use the round brush. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So what we're doing is we're moving the hair out the way. It's very important as well that when you're drying the hair with a round brush, because you're creating that height, is that this hair is dry completely before you put the next layer over it. Otherwise the dampness from that will reduce the height in the bit that you've dried on top of it. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going side to side of it and then curling it over, and we're using a smaller one, and for the front I've got a bigger one. Yep. So let's start doing that. So as you can see, we've dried Jack's hair now, and bringing it up, you know, it's going to go back. We haven't got any finishing products in it yet, but mainly what I wanted to talk about was the way that his hair splits. Now this splits naturally all the time. It's where his natural parting is, and on some of you, it's where your natural parting will be as well. It can be in the center, it could be on the side, wherever really, but you can see how it's quite prominent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get rid of that and how to keep it all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate the front slightly, and we're going to separate the where it splits. Yeah, so just running my comb through it, followed with my fingers. So it's like a rectangle shape. Just split half of that off. Now, with the small end of my comb, I'm just going to back comb it slightly. Now this, if you don't comb it out properly, is a bit of a bastard. A bugger, sorry. Yeah, so that all that hair's together. So what we're doing is we now do the bit behind it. And just back combing it ever so slightly, nothing too heavy. Right, and now we're combing the ends of the hair into it, and then we'll just go over that. So you cover the bit that's back combed, and that shouldn't split now because the hair is brought together. And then when you're combing it out, just make sure you start at the ends of your hair and just go through it lightly. You don't want to tear your hair out, but you don't need to back comb it to excess because you should have some pre-dry product in there that will give your hair more grip anyway. And now what we're going to do is we're going to finish it off with a bit of Savage Muck, which I'm really liking at the moment. It's a very dry looking product, a little bit like the hard muck, but it has a softer, you're able to pull it in the hair easier because it's a little bit more creamier, it's not as dry, more like the paste. So it's in between the paste and the hard muck, so filthy muck and hard muck. So pea-sized amount, or just a little bit over maybe because this hair's slightly longer. Really work it into the hands, warming it up as much as you can, spreading it out evenly, and then with the fingers. And that is how you cut a softer, disconnected undercut. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you what to ask your barber for if you're looking for something like this. So what we're going for a softer undercut, so the hair's not cut right up with the clippers to the disconnection point. So scissor cut, probably about a finger width. So blended from a 3 down to a 2, and then leaving it about 3.5 to 4 inches long on top, keeping it longer at the front, and then tapered down at the back edge. Yeah, that's what I'd expect to be asked for. So yeah, hope you like it. Thank you.